In this lesson, you're going to learn a paragraph format that you are going to use over and over throughout the year and through high school in both LA and social studies. It's called an analysis paragraph, and I know you've already been working on them in social studies. In your analysis paragraph, you're going to be developing and supporting a claim about a text. That text can be a literary or an informational text. This video will focus on theme and a paragraph that analyzes the development of a theme across a text. We'll be learning the basic paragraph structure, but if you're going to analyze a theme across a longer text, like a novel, you might string together 3 of these paragraphs to analyze a more complex development of theme. Today, you're just going to write 1 paragraph. Your first sentence in your analysis paragraph is your claim statement, and we're going to color code yellow. Your claim statement is a crystal clear statement of what you intend to prove. Your whole goal of your analysis is to support this claim with strong and thorough evidence and convince your reader that it's true. Before I launch into my claim paragraph, I want to make sure that I have my claim and my evidence all lined up. So before I go forward with this analysis paragraph, I'm going to go back to my graphic organizer and make sure that I'm ready to write. After I've copied my claim at the top of my paragraph paper, then I need to work to introduce my evidence. And this can be a little bit tricky because it's the one component that varies a little depending on the type of text you're analyzing. If it's a literary text, like a story, you need to give a little background about what's going on in the story, and then maybe say who's speaking or thinking and who they're speaking to, followed by the quote. So you give a little bit of angled summary about what's going on. On the other hand, if you were writing a paper for social studies and the text was informational, you might give the name of the author and the expertise in the subject area. But since this is a theme analysis, you're going to want to ask yourself, what does the reader need to know to understand the quote I'm going to use? And you're going to answer that by telling what's happening in the story. Next, you need to use your evidence. Your evidence needs to be an exact word-for-word quotation from the text that you put in quotation marks, and it needs to be embedded or integrated into a sentence of your own. After the quotation, you need to include the page citation where those words can be found. That's done by putting the page number in parentheses. There's no word page or PG, just the numeral in the parentheses. Next, you have your analysis. In science, you might call this reasoning. Some people call it explanation. I've heard it called commentary, but it's the really heavy lifting part of your paper. This is where you explain your thinking in as much detail as possible. You're explaining how do the words you quoted support your claim, in this case, your theme statement. This should be a minimum of 2 sentences. It can be 4 or 5 sentences long if you're really doing a great job connecting the quotation to your theme statement. Then, you need a little transition because you're going to head into a new piece of evidence. So you might have like in addition or next or also, some kind of thing that signals that you're going to move on to a new idea. Then you're going to repeat steps 2 through 4. Introduce your evidence, state your new piece of evidence, analyze that evidence. You might do that a 3rd time if you have 3 pieces of evidence in your paragraph. And when you're done with your last analysis, then you need to refocus your reader's attention on your original claim. So you're going to write a 1-sentence concluding statement, we call it the clincher, that refocuses your reader on the theme and basically restates your claim in new words.